partner him. And Fabio Gabini was the man who qualified the car as the grid in race order, gets the signal to start racing, and they can start overtaking way back behind the start line as the Corvette and the Aston Martin run side by side towards the first corner. They duelled for 15 minutes yesterday over this pole position. It was decided in favour of the Aston Martin, but it looks like turn one in Rettifilio is about to be decided in favour of the number 3 SRT Corvette. Indeed it is. The Aston goes back one place, but he's already launched an attack as we ride round with Alan Simonsen. There's a battle for the lead going on in front of us. They're still side by side. The number 2 Maserati in third place. A whole pack of GT2 cars mixed in with the GT1s, and they are still side by side as they come up to Della Roggia. Now it's skating all over the place, jumps the curbs, and has that settled the matter, or will they continue this as they belt on down towards the Ascari chicane at 170 miles an hour?
Alex Muller there taking a great line through Della Roggia, and Christophe Bouchou having to give way, but it's Bouchou on the inside line, and contact there between the Maserati and the Corvette, having to go round the outside line. Alan Simonsen in close pursuit, still that great gaggle of GT2 cars.
Huge big wodge of Ferraris. Look at them, 3, 6, 9, there's a dozen Ferraris there must be, all side by side. It's still the 36 Aston Martin in the lead, and Bouchou in second place is dropping back, isn't it?
I thought I saw Alan Simon making a dive down the inside of the Maserati, and he's made the place stick. So Simonsen from P5, I think, has now made his way up perhaps even to third in this first lap.
Well, lots going on, and we're still heading towards the Parabolica for the first time. That number 2 Maserati has got a rear view mirror full up with big yellow Corvette. They did, as we saw, touch door handles under brakes for the Rettifilio chicane, but now the number 5 car dipping up the inside as we see the beginnings of what's going to be the story for the next 15 minutes, I think. GT1 cars coming through this GT2 field. It's going to be very busy indeed.
Absolutely, a view from inside one of the GTs. That's the AF Corsa car.
51. Christian Montanari qualified that car yesterday. He was looking very quick indeed. The GT1 drivers have moved to GT2, Biaggi and Montanari, and it looks like they've taken a round to get to grips with the car properly, but you're looking at the number 50 there.
And already, would you believe, a car being lapped in the background there. The white Dodge Viper local entry has really been way off the pace, and embarrassingly for them, lapped after just one complete circuit.
Well, here's this battle here for 4th and 5th between Maserati and Corvette. Alex McGraw in the number 2 Maserati, and Marcel Fassler, as we saw, in number 5. Here comes the number 1 Maserati, still picking off the GT2 cars. It's taking a long time to go through them, isn't it?
Well, there's a lot of them. There's a huge pack of GT2s ahead, and Richard Westbrook still ahead of the Maserati in the Porsche there. That situation won't last, but good racing through this GT2 pack. That's one of the CR Scuderia cars. Andrew Kirkcaldy, the Scot, there sharing with Rob Bell, and they're putting good lap times in already. Very close racing in the GT2s is what we anticipate. On board again with Fabio Babini. He's now chasing up onto the back of Christian Montanari in the AF Corsa car ahead there.
Very fast circuit, Monza, the fastest circuit we go to all year, and you just got a glimpse of it there. Back on board with the Aston Martin, Simonsen jumping the curbs at Rettifilio, heading out towards the second chicane. The rest of the field still thundering past the commentary box, which is right opposite the start-finish line. So that's how many cars we've got on track.
And already Simonsen wanting to pressure Christophe Bouchou, in fact getting closer to the rear wing of the Corvette ahead of him as the Corvette and the Maserati look on. Quickest lap so far to Simonsen, in fact, in his pursuit of Christophe Bouchou, but Alex Muller still has the lead, and a healthy lead of over a second at the end of this first couple of laps. Curb hopping from the AF Corsa car, number 50, Tony Vielander taking the start there, and there's your battle for second place, and indeed the battle for 4th as well.
Still got the Alex Negrão and Maserati.
3 wide coming into
Doesn't work, does
Ascari.
it?
Oh, sort yourselves out, boys.
Well, the GT2s, of course, having a close battle of their own, as Brian was pointing out. Richard Westbrook hanging on to that GT2 lead. Tony Villander is second. Andrew Capaldi is in third place. Christian Montanari, we're with now, is actually fourth in GT2, ahead of Tim Mullen and then Fabio Babini.
Little pass there up the inside. Looks as though Tim Mullen's got the better of Montanari on the approach to the corner there and made that pass stick.
And that's the number 8 Lamborghini of Peter Cox on the right-hand side of your picture.
Fabrizio Gollin looking to go through, and does, on the run down to Redifilio. Another place taken by Gollin, having to make that start from towards the back of the grid. We're back on board with the GT2 battle, and what a battle it is through the Redifilio again.
Watching every move on the monitors, of course. The team can see what's happening to the cars. You see a forest of aerials over the paddock out the back here. You don't just need £250,000 worth of race car, you need another £500,000 worth of stuff to make it work. 37 there is the GT1 Ferrari of ACA Argentina.
The rear left wheel arch of that Mazda we just saw coming in. Andrea Bertolini bringing the car back without, hopefully, here's a replay. And yes, well spotted, camera crew. Oh, all sorts of debris coming off there now. Will that mean that
we've won in the pit lane, trying to get it started again? We'll find out how the good teamwork on track. Both of the Phoenix Corvettes on track together, and we'll find out when we get them round this lap exactly where they fit into the order of things, because as everybody comes in, the race order becomes a little bit scrambled, obviously enough.
Oh dear, dear, dear. That's the Celine Sean Edwards ERC Bratislava entry, not making it all the way round. I wonder what on earth has happened there.
I think it's not the front. I think it's the left front.
It's got all four rolling, doesn't it? And
it's just got no power, and it's in the wrong place.
Yes,
he was apparently weaving from side to side before that happened, so that would suggest he was running out of fuel. There is the race leader in pit lane. It's about 30-second drive-through on a pit stop. If you just drove through pit lane, it takes about 30 seconds at Monza. And we've clicked a stopwatch as the car came to a halt. Jet Alliance know they're not the quickest team in the pit stop, but they also know that they've improved it enormously, and they are better than they used to be. The key to this is how long they stay with the fuel connected before the jack can lift the car up and the mechanics can change the wheels, and then how quickly you can change a wheel using an air gun and just your bare hands, no one to help you. That little fumble there won't have improved the situation. Throw the wheel away, put the new one on, straight on. Just not the perfect pit stop, is it? You can see he's really, really anxious about this. He's under pressure, and it's just adding a second here and a second there. There goes the rear wheel. On goes the wheel nut now. Gun goes on, and it's just climbing, climbing. 1 minute and 8 seconds. That is far too long, isn't it?
Yes, the right side of the car finished long before the left, unfortunately, for the rather embarrassed wheelman there.
Yes, it was awful, really, just to call his faults just like that, but it's their moment of pressure, the mechanics, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and you know, it has to be said that the Formula One style pit stop where 20-odd people descend on the car isn't how it's done in sports car racing. We're allowed a maximum of 4 people to touch the car in pit lane. We've got another little battle, lovely battle going on here. Philip Peter getting past the second of the 2 Corvettes, under braking again for Redifilio, holding the inside line. Dalatraz not wanting to give way but having to, and so Philip Peter back up to 5th place.
And there comes the number 2 car. Finally, Alex Negrão comes out of the lead after 30 laps. and I think he is the last person to stop, is he? No, Sean Edwards won't be stopping, so although it says he hasn't made any pit stops, he's not going to arrive. So yes, he's the last stopper, and Ramos, as we saw, was waiting for him. Bundle him out and throw him on the floor. No, don't touch me, I'll do it myself.
Good pit work has been a key to race wins in the past for the Vitaphone Maserati team, and slick pit work is so important here. Looks as though they may be electing, no, they are going to do tyres, it's just that the fueling has taken a while. There we go, it's been a long stop, so a big refuel required, and the windscreen cleaning you saw going on is the only other work you're allowed to do while the fuel goes in. This is very good pit work as usual from the Vitaphone team. Be interesting to compare this to what we saw a little further up pit lane earlier on, Richard.
Well, yes, still waiting for the other side. There we go. He's about 30 seconds quicker at rest. That's a huge amount, isn't it? Absolutely huge amount.
Tells the story, which means that your new race leader is Xavier Marson, the Dutch driver in the SRT Racing Corvette, heads up the field now.
That was tremendously good work from Vitaphone Maserati, and we have seen them do that pit stop conjuring trick time and time again, and it puts them into contention in races in which they are not already in contention. And if they can grab that much time out of the race leader at one pit stop and do it at another one, they've got half a lap.
We're into Ascari, and now here comes Mike. Oh no, Jonathan Delatraz looking to take an inside line on Lucas Licknahoy, but he's having nothing of it. Mike Hazelman still trying to get past Delatraz as well.
So Masson leads it, and he's got the number 2 Maserati McGraw behind him in second place. Here comes another attempt. He's not going to do it here, is he? Hazelman just watching in the background there, looking particularly dangerous, I thought, and not likely to show his teammate any mercy if he gets the opportunity to get past. What Mike Hazelman wants to do is just get on with it and go and win the race, and he'll pass his teammate. I bet he has a stab at him down here while he's thinking about Lucas Licknahoy.
This has been a terrific thing to mark back over the last 2 seasons between Corvette and Aston. Look at Hazelman's come right down the inside into the area where the Pitex just tapping, getting a little tap on the back of his teammate there. As you say, no love lost.
No mercy.
No,
and he's got a better drive out of Rettifilio. He's going round the outside as they run up towards Della Roggia. Can he pull it off here? He's side by side almost. He is a car width apart, I beg your pardon, and he's got it done, hasn't he?
He's going to have the inside line for Della Roggia, and Delatraz can do nothing but give way to Mike Hazelman's. Just that little tap unsettled the 5 car into Rettifilio, and from there on in, Hazelman's had the advantage and made it work. Here's the a replay of the pass coming into Della Roggia, and Lucas Licknahoy by no means giving up in his pursuit either of Philip Peter, who passed in the lap before. But a good move by Hazelman's, if perhaps a little robust in the initial phase of that, but he's got the result he needed to get past Anthony Delatraz, and he now can go off in pursuit of that podium spot himself.
And 59 being refueled in the pits.
That's the Richard Williams David Ashburn car. Driver change going on as is required by the rules.
And Hazelman, as expected, has made his pass, and Delatraz is going to do the same, I feel sure. Ryan Sharp will be there shortly, and now Philip Peter is the man under pressure.
Yes, Mike Hazelman's having cleared both of the cars between himself and Philip Peter, will now get real red mist coming down over the eyes, and want to grab that final podium spot and then look to improve on it.
Javier Masson leads this race by some 14 seconds.
Ryan Sharp.
I was going to say, here comes Ryan Sharp up on the inside of Delatraz, and that's over and done with before they got to the turn, wasn't it? And he's going after Lucas Licknahoy now. Delatraz going backwards pretty much as you predicted, Graham. He's not as quick in the car, teammate, and the stopwatch leads you to that conclusion inevitably. And now he is joining in the battle, so the chase is on. Licknahoy He's under pressure, and that's it done. That's just as easily. No, he gave him that. I'm sure that was a very gentlemanly thing to do. He knew Ryan Sharp was quicker in the car, and he allowed him all the position he wanted to get through there nice and safely.
Yeah, stayed well wide on the approach to the chicane there, but was smart enough to nip straight back in behind him to defend a position from Jean-Denis Delatraz behind. Make sure he didn't give away a place more than he needed to. But Ryan Sharp, RAC Tourist Trophy winner, remember, last time out, is making good progress back up the field.
Philip Peter putting Alan Simonson back in the seat. Race timer says there's 46 minutes to go, so this will be fueled for the finish. What are they going to do with tyres? There's nothing in the pit lane, Graham.
No, it looks as though they're going to double stint them. This is what they did at Silverstone, and they very nearly got away with it. The tyres just going off towards the very end. Fuel still going in. Absolutely critical that they have enough fuel on board. We saw last year's winners in one of the races here penalised for not having enough fuel in the car at the end. They have to just running out on slowing down. That was not allowed here.
No, you have to bring the car back to parc fermé to be classified. Tape going onto that flappy bonnet, as we saw, and they did that very quickly and very easily. They saved something like 15 or 20 seconds on not changing the tyres, and that depends on the team managers. Well, Nigel Stepley will have worked out how much time they would gain by having fresh rubber, and whether it is more or less than the time they would spend putting those fresh tyres on. Once the mathematics are done, the decision's easy.
Those tyres up to temperature, because the ones that are already on there will be considerably warmer than anything they could have put on at pit lane. Another little battle going on there in the background between another brace of Ferraris. So
Alan Simonson back out on track after 2 stops, fuelled to the finish, we hope, but they was plugged in for quite a while to the fuel hose.
Coming out just ahead of the Lamborghini of Roman Rusinov. We saw that car having a little examination in the pit lane to the left rear, but apparently healthy and continuing. So Peter Cox will take that car to the finish when it comes in for its second stop. Collard still ahead of Bruni, but still by less than a second at the head of the GT2 pack. Oh, contact.
Which one? That is the
that's the
36, isn't it?
The blue mirrors, and it's the 36, yes.
I'm going to see the windscreen wiper. It's got the little green stripe across the top of the screen, and I think it's 36. I think it's Lucas Lichtenhorn. It's Ryan Sharp. No. Well, he was catching. He seems to have caught up.
Sharp and Delatraz were in closer proximity, certainly, but
36. It's 36.
Yes, I was going to say that didn't have the decal on the roof that for me separates the 33 and 36 cars. So unfortunately, it's Lucas Lichtenhorn who's tangled with Jean-Denis Delatraz, or vice versa, and the result is that both of them have ended up in the gravel.
Well, that's I'm not glad they had it coming together, but I'm glad it's not who we thought it was. It's taken a couple of cars out of contention of what was a very interesting 6 or 7 way battle for the last podium places, but it focuses our attention much more sharply at the front, and it looks like it'll be pit stop time for the final time for those people, as you say, Graham, who owe us a stop now. As the leader comes in, this is Masson's last pit stop, and we thought they're trying to make this driver change as quick as possible, because if they can fuel it with a little less fuel, because they've only got 35 minutes to go, they means that Bouchou can get a faster turnaround in pit lane, get the car back out on track a little bit quicker. But they fumbled the driver change, and it's touch and go whether they'll finish the fueling before they finish the driver change. No tyres.
No tyres. Tyres were laid out for the car ready, but waved away by Christophe Bouchou, saying no, not a problem, we'll carry on as we are.
They've saved about 15 seconds there, and this is really very critical. And car number 10 gets a drive-through penalty, and I presume that's a speeding in the pit lane offence.
Well, it'll blunt the attack of Alan Simonson back up through the field, which is a great shame because he's been doing sterling work in his recovery drive back up through. Remember, they took their first pit stop early, and were playing catch-up ever since. But that's the job completed for the SRT team.
About 18 kilometres, 20 kilometres in which to chase down the number 10 Aston Martin.
There is the Aston, and there is Mike Hazelman's in pursuit. That's the gap after nearly 2 hours of racing. between third and fourth places.
And let's not forget that both of these people, Hazeman and Simonson, have had to do pit stop penalties, so that's why they're so close together. They both made 3 stops, and he's using it all, isn't he? Coming out of Ascari there, right over onto the almost into the rough. Yeah, I think he was still just about on the fairway, wasn't he?
Just about, yeah. And he won't want to get caught up behind traffic through Parabolica. Fabulous in car shots.
No trouble for him. That was exactly the right moment, I think, for both of these cars, because he's going to stitch up the Gilles Vertigo, the G2 Belgian entry there, and the Ferrari's going to go with him if it can, but I don't think yes it can. 2 of them have got through now. Hazeman's got 2 cars between him and Simonson. He's got 1 minute and 50 seconds on the clock. Well, I think that's it, really.
And Simonson had the faster lap of the 2 by a whole 400ths of a second last time round. So, battle royal.
Well, Richard Westbrook's actually 9 seconds ahead of Tony Vielander now, so he's opened up even more of a gap at the head of the GT2 field. So with 1 minute and 30 seconds on the timer, we can say, I think, that the battles are over and everybody out there is going to settle for finishing where they are.
I'd like to tell Christian Montanari that, as he is only half a second behind his teammate, but it is his teammate, and at this point they may be under a 3-line whip to just stay where they are.
And he has been half a second behind him for the past 10 minutes. This is our race leader now, and he will get the checkered flag next time he goes across the start-finish line, because he's lapping in the 146s, and there's less than a minute to go, and he's just starting his final lap. This is a fine result for SRT. We haven't seen much of them because Bouchou and Massa between them have galloped away and disappeared and been in clear air. And look at the gap now. 30 seconds almost. No, it's 23, not almost 30 seconds. 23 seconds after 2 hours. That's good work for these boys. Very good.
And again, vindicating the existence of these C6R Corvettes. They really are wonderful machines. Very strong racing on both sides of the Atlantic, and bringing them over here and running them in the GT1 category in the FIAs has been an absolute boon for not just this team but for Phoenix and others around them as well. Flashing headlights to warn those ahead that I'm coming through. Make your own arrangements. Bouchou takes no prisoners even at this stage of the race.
And you say for the other teams, and of course Phoenix lost a car, and we're not quite sure how that happened, but one of those cars involved in a little tussle with one of the Jet Alliance Aston Martin. So there would otherwise have been 3 of the Corvettes in the top 5. As it is, we've got 2 of them. And Kumpen in the background of the shot there, you just caught a glimpse of the number 4 Celine in 6th place. That's, again, I'm very pleased. They take their racing very seriously, and they really like to do well. And they put an awful lot of effort into getting up the leaderboard with a car that doesn't belong there. But there is the checkered flag for the number 3 SRT Corvette. Masson on the pit wall is a very happy Dutchman, isn't he?
Absolutely, Xavier Masson just into this championship for the first year and already got a top spot on the podium to show for it. Congratulations to Celisla Racing, SRT. Let's get it down in one piece. We need him for the podium.
Maserati have stealthed their way into 2nd place again.
Yes.
And Alex de Grauw with the number 2 car. And he's going to finish ahead of Simonson and Hazeman, but there's your GT2 leader, the Porsche, now driven by Richard Westbrook, which he shares with Emmanuel Collard, and he's just half a lap from home, unwinding through the final chicane for the final time. He'll look ahead to a nice long straight run up towards Parabolica, and he's going to be a couple of laps, 3 laps down in fact, on the GT1 winner. So 3 laps is the difference, the performance differential between GT1 and GT2 here at Monza. And you have to say that is the performance leader of the weekend, isn't it, that car?
Absolutely. If there's to be a car of the weekend, perhaps it is finally the 997 showing good. But what a race it's been all the way through. Battles up and down the field.
What a fine performance from Emmanuel Collard. I could say, if I was picking a man of the match for this race, I might have to say it would be Collard, because he has really driven beyond himself, isn't he?
Yes, he's one of those drivers who, whatever car he gets in for a weekend, he's quick from the off. And the two AF Corsa cars crossing the line side by side with Vilander, maintaining second place in class for Ferrari ahead of Christian Montanari, and Fabio Babini in the Scuderia Ricosse car next up.
Yeah, fourth place, and as we've been saying, best of the rest, because AF Corsa obviously are the best two Ferraris, and to be best of the rest is no mean achievement when you look at the names behind them. And CR Scuderia perhaps not quite as happy with their outing here at Monza as they were in Silverstone.
No, they finish up behind the BMS Scuderia Italia team, which I'm sure wouldn't be what they would have anticipated. Not to take anything away from BMS, because they've made the transition from Aston Martins in GT1 to Ferraris in GT2 this season, and seem to have made the step down very well indeed. If it is indeed a step down, it's not a step down in terms of the competition, because it's as tough as ever in GT2. However, here is how it finished.
Yes, first place for Bouchou and Masson, second place for the Maserati. Aston Martin gets third place, and a double podium in two outings for Philip Peter and Alan Simonson and Gigawave Motorsport. They'll be very pleased about that. Mike Hazeman won't be too disappointed, I think, with fourth place here, considering he started from the very back of the grid after being knocked off on the outlap in qualifying by Celine going backwards.
I'm betting he will want to ask questions of the team now how it was that they had to come in for that extra fuel stop, because that should have been able to be avoided. Well, 1.6 seconds at the flag was all they had to find.
Stop! Masson and Bouchou there for the photographers. And I saw a couple of photographers talking to Masson earlier on, just on the last couple of laps, and I presume they were setting up the big celebration shot. And they obviously do look very happy, but you can hear the officials there anxious to get them to the podium.
Christophe Bouchou will be delighted to be up at the top end of things again. He's been in this series probably longer than he cares to remember, but always been a tough driver, always been a very fast one. Dundee McGraw there in bringing the Maserati home in second place with the help of Miguel Ramos.
Can't see what's on his crash helmet. He was anxious to show us then, but he looks like he's been working a lot harder than Christophe Bouchou. It's odd, really, because I was just watching Bouchou and he doesn't look at all out of breath or exerted, does he? Like Collard, he looks like he's perfectly at home in the car, but McGraw there looking as if he's been working hard.
Bouchou's had a few more years of practice in these cars with lids.
And as you say, a narrow call on third place for the Phoenix team, and a splash and dash really ensuring that Simonson and Peter held onto it. Two podiums in a row. This will make the championship interesting. I should be interested to see the points in a moment or two and find out exactly how it shapes up. Bouchou very happy because he knew he was going to be leading it, and Sharp and Wendlinger in second place. They did finish in seventh place, just getting a couple of points to add to the 10 they got for winning last time out. Michael Bartel's in fifth place there, also on 12 points, which he shares with his co-driver Andrea Bertolini. Peter and Simonson 12 points to two
in a tie. Yeah,
two third places in a row, and that's just about everybody on 12 points really, apart from Bouchou and Masson, isn't it? Let's have a look at the GT2 points now, and that's a good win for Emmanuel Collard and Richard Westbrook, isn't it?
Yes, they'll be delighted with that, as will everybody at Porsche. For the first time in a long time, I haven't seen Norbert Singer here this weekend to oversee Porsche operations. Perhaps he needs to stay away more often. He should have been retired anyway in his own eyes, but AF Corsa bringing up second and third, completing the podium sweep.
Yeah, so it's a long time, as you say, since we've seen Porsche on top of the points table or on top of the podium. Spa last year. Porsche obviously excels in the really long distance endurance races. It's pretty much what the car is built for. On top of the points, Jimmy Bruni, Tony Villander, Collard and Westbrook right behind. That is very interesting for the championship going forward, isn't it, as we go to the next round. Adria is another Italian racetrack, and it is totally different to this one, but that's where we go next, and I think it's unlikely that Porsche will find it as easy to run with the leaders there.